It doesn't take long when working with fitness professionals who live stream sessions to learn that there are many different options for which tech you use to do it and how you use that tech. To streamline that process and to ensure that you build the best setup for you, we're going to start by determining the size of what we will call your stage. That is the area that needs to be well lit and on camera for your sessions. Before we get into figuring out what the ideal size is for you, the first consideration we must make is what is actually available to you. If you plan to be streaming from a tiny space, you may not have much choice about the size of your stage. In that case, you'll adapt your sessions to what you have available, and you'll try to make that space seem bigger when you choose what kind of camera you use. More on that later. Things to consider about your stage. Assuming that you have some space to work with, consider the following things when sizing up your ideal stage. What's the height that you need to cover? What's the tallest thing you have to have on camera, and where will it be positioned? For my classes, that would be a handstand, and I would probably do it against this wall. So being a little less than 6 feet tall and having pretty long arms, I know that the maximum height I'll need to film is about 8 feet when measured at the back of the space where there's this wall. Also, how wide does your space have to be? Are you going to be in one spot the whole time, or are you going to be moving around a lot? And if you move around a lot, are you going to have the whole session shot with a wide frame where the whole space is on camera at all times? Or are you going to use a device that allows your camera to follow you around when you move? And we'll talk about that later as well. In either case, though, we need to know the size of the entire space that you'll be occupying, because that will determine lighting and the size and placement of your monitors and the placement of your camera. Now that you know the size of the area your shot needs to cover and what your stage is, you can determine what you're going to use to film yourself and what you'll use to see your students and control the meeting, how you'll light your stage, and how your students will hear you and how you'll hear them. I'll show you the standard setup and how it all works together. Then the next few lessons will look at each of the components of the setup and what some of the different options are for what you use, where you put it, and how you use it.